Yes, my people, good day. Working on a Toyota today. Yeah, Toyota Tundra. The condition that we're having with this vehicle is it's running poorly. Check engine light on. System too lean. Misfire on cylinders number 1 and 2. This customer is a DIYer. So he already replaced spark plugs, already replaced mass airflow sensor, already replaced oxygen sensors. So much money spent already trying to figure it out. So, all that said, still didn't figure it out. So, I said, drop it off. Let me take a look at it and see what's going on. I'm going to take you along for the ride and let us figure this thing out together. First thing we'll do, we'll start it up and then we'll check codes and look and see what we are seeing on the scanner. Watch it. It runs, sound good, but when I hit the gas, you can hear the misfire. Listen. Hear that? Yeah, listen. That not sound good. Yes, technically it's misfiring, but it's more like it's bogging down and then it misfires. It's not like you hit the gas and it's like it's trying to go and it's not going. It's like you hit the gas and it's like and it don't go nowhere. What can cause that is mass airflow sensor can be bad. And it causes that because it's reading incorrectly and it's giving the wrong mixture signal, so you're getting a poor mixture, so you get a poor engine performance, right? I didn't put the gas all the way to the floor on that one. I left like halfway and it sounded a little bit better. Let me floor it all the way now. Still bogging down. So, let me check the codes and see what we find. All right, we have 7 engine performance. We have system 2 lean bank 1, system 2 lean bank 2, so both banks. So there is not something that is specific to a cylinder. Both of them are being affected, so it's something in general. Random multiple misfire cylinders number 1 and 2. It doesn't say anything about the other cylinders, but cylinder number 1 is on bank 1 and cylinder number 2 is on bank 2. Just something to bear in mind. That's all we're getting in here. So he left me with the original mass airflow sensor that he took out. So I'm going to put that one back in, start it back up and see what we get. I'll be right back. The new one came in a box like this, right? And once you see boxes like these, nondescript, you know what I mean, it's not a good sign, you understand? But anyway, both of them had Toyota inscripted on the back of it, right? So this is the one came in that box, so we switch it out. So this one here, see, I haven't bolted it in the rest of the way. This one here is the original one that was in the vehicle. We're gonna start it back up now and see what we get. All right, here we go. All right, start up sounding nice. What I'm going to do at this point now is, because it has codes stored in here, I'm going to clear all the codes and then start it up again and see what's going on. Key off. Key on. Erase codes. Always erase the codes after you make a change. Granted, I took pictures of the codes first, but after you make changes and stuff, erase the codes. Start with a fresh memory. Now read codes. After you clear them, you read for it to say no trouble codes detected. Alright, so I'm going to do now. Start back up. That's what we got. Alright. Give it some gas. Same symptom. You hear it go brrrr, brrrr. No, you can't do nothing with that. Something going on. Alright, so let me check codes if any codes save. Let me turn back off. Because sometimes it's 2 ignition cycles before it trip a code. Sometimes there are different protocols to trip codes. That not sound too bad. No. Still. Checking trouble codes now. It says no codes listed. Alright, I may have to take it for a ride. But it's not sounding any better. At this point, since I already switched out the mass airflow and I'm still getting the same symptoms, chances of both mass airflow sensors giving the same symptoms is slim to none. Not impossible, but not very probable. So what I'm going to do at this point now, before I start get too deep, I am checking the basics. So we do something with the ear a second ago. So what I'm going to check now is fuel and see what the fuel pressure is like. Let me show you how we do that. This is the fuse box here. We have the cover off. This is the fuel pump relay. We're going to pull this out. Right, get this out of the way. Set it up there. What we are doing is we are relieving fuel pressure out of the line and the rail. Then you start it back up. Alright, see the mileage? 191,857. Can't knock that. But you start it back up, then it's going to run poorly until it cuts off. There you go. Cut off. So, turn the key off. So that's the brake master cylinder, and the fuel pressure line is here. This is the supply line. That's the return line. That's coming from the fuel pressure regulator. This is going to the fuel rail. This is the one that you need. This is coming straight from the fuel pump. So I undid the line and I installed my fuel pressure gauge here. See that little adapter right there? You need that. That is sold separately. Right? So we have that. So what we're going to do now is, since we have the gauge hooked up, we're going to reinstall fuel pressure relay. Start the back up. Alright, it's running. So this is what I just did. This is from Toyota right there. So I put the T in, hook the gauge up, and this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. This is the fuel pressure specs. 281 to 287 kilopascals, or 40.8 to 41.7 psi. I didn't make it up. That's the spec. That's right there. So now we know what we're looking for. You need information. Information is very important. Let's look and see what the gauge is reading. 40.8 to 41.7, 24 psi. 40.8 to 41.7, 24 psi. That is not good. So before we can do any further diagnosis, we have to fix that fuel pressure. So fuel pressure not right. Can't proceed any further. Right now it has 191,000 miles on it. You know, it's full time for fuel pump. Next step is putting a fuel pump in it. If it had a fuel filter, we'd change it, but everything is in the tank. Also, you could change the fuel pressure regulator as well, but chances are it's going to be the fuel pump. All right, let's get going. First thing I do is I get the transmission jack and I support the tank and I start working on the tank straps. The fuel filler neck is next. Undo that from the body. Yep. After that, then it's time to start gingerly lowering it down, making sure you're not ripping anything off. I wait until I lower the tank down a little bit to gain more access to the fuel line, so I'm undoing them now. Kind of funky way they got it hooked up, but it's just what it is. Now I'm strapping the tank. Make sure that the tank don't fall off the transmission jack when I lower it down from the body. It happens, so make sure it don't happen to you. Yep, making a little bit of progress now. That black box you see flopping around there is the evap canister. I should have taken it down with the entire bracket, but it's the first time I'm taking this tank down, so I didn't know going in. But if you're gonna do it, yeah, make sure that you take it down with the whole bracket. Makes it easier. Before you open the tank, make sure that you clean off the surface. There's always some road grime and stuff on top of the tank, so you don't want to introduce too much grit and grime. Spritz it with a little PB blaster or WD-40. It makes it a little easier when it is time to remove the flange. On this specific design, it's kind of weird. There are some tiny little tabs and clips, so when I turn it, I had to move one out the way, move the next one out the way. Didn't want to break anything, so it's kind of weird, but I was just being cautious. Here's the pump, the old pump right there. It's always filled with fuel. That whole thing is full of fuel, so just be gentle when you're removing it. This is the new pump assembly, and I'm replacing the O-ring. You know, it comes in the bag, so just use a new O-ring and then just carefully put it in. Being very careful with the sending unit float. Don't want to bend or break or tweak that. And then after that, now I just start to reinstall, tighten everything back up, cleaning off some of the dirt and grime from the fuel lines, the supply and the return, putting all the clips back in there. Don't forget that. You don't want to start this thing up and it spit that line right off. You have to drop the whole thing down again. All right, drop the truck back down, and then now put the relay back in. So we're going to start it up now and see what kind of pressure we have with the new fuel pump. Boom. Look at that. So now, let us mash the gas pedal and see what it sounds like. Remember it was bogging down before? Taking it on a test drive now and see what we got. Feel good. So yeah man, thanks for watching another one fix. Have a nice day, bless you.